And I'm speaking as a concerned student who has many questions as to what our school district is doing with my education. I understand that finding qualified teachers is not an easy task, but what is being done to fix that problem? The temporary solution of the ITD course and having long-term substitutes is not one that's going to work for very much longer. Because the pay and benefits of being a teacher in Bisbee School District is not attractive, the students have to enroll in an ITD course. In this course, our teacher reads to us from her desk at her house. She causes distractions in the classroom, such as showing us her dog, her cat, and even once getting up to leave the screen to squish a bug. I remind you, this teacher is being paid more than a physical teacher. She is teaching us from a TV screen, and we're not getting any more benefit than we would from a physical teacher. I feel that we are getting less than we would if we had a teacher there. If you continue to pay someone more to read to us from a textbook on a TV screen than hire a real teacher, what does that say about your value of my education? I've gone to Bisbee schools all of my life, and this year is my senior year. It's also the first year that my parents have considered taking me and my two brothers to a different school district. This isn't because the teachers are underqualified, but because we don't have enough teachers. Everybody talks about raising the level of excellence, raising the bar for us. But how are we supposed to do that if you don't give us the resources we need in teachers? The BUSD website, it says where learning is for all, but I feel this isn't accurate. Here we have to struggle to learn because of the circumstances we've been put under. I know that money is an issue when it comes to bringing in new teachers, but then why are we paying an ITB course more money than we pay our own teachers? As a student, I ask you to look at the education that you got at Bisbee High School. How is it different? Did your teachers want to be there, or did they jump at an opportunity for a different job with higher pay and better benefits? Did you feel that you were prepared for college when you were leaving Bisbee High School? Because as a student, I fear that I won't be prepared because I haven't had the adequate teachers. A lot of people have come up and talk about the problems, but I do have a few ideas that perhaps might help come up with a solution. I invite you to come and sit in one of these ITV courses. Come and sit, but don't let the teacher know you're there because it's different when you're there. And look, get an experience from our point of view. Sit in our shoes for just 1 hour, any day. And then you'll understand where I'm speaking from and where all of the students that are here, the teachers, where they're coming from. Thank you.
My name is Leo Bacon, and I am a junior at the Bisbee High School. From what I've heard and seen, ITV is probably the most impersonal way to teach I have ever known of. It's almost as if a disembodied head is just talking to you through a box. You don't get to learn anything, you don't get to know anything about how the implications of what you learn. And due to technical difficulties, sometimes the link between here and Arkansas, here in Wilcox, doesn't even work for up to 30 minutes. And that's about a quarter of what they learn a week is just static, a blank screen. It's not working, it's suffering from problems. It's not how I would envision people learning in a classroom.
My name is Mark Intel, and as a parent, I feel it's my responsibility to make this board aware of some very disturbing trends with regard to the lack of support for Bisbee's teachers. District is blessed with the very talented and dedicated teachers and principals who are compensated at a fraction of their value compared to other school districts. However, it has come to my attention that the district's administration has not been very supportive of teachers in the extra hours required of them and the compensation they are entitled to for transitioning to the new Common Core curriculum. Teachers had an expectation that their contracts would contain additional funding to account for the extra time required of them this year to initiate the new requirements, as provided for in a grant. However, this extra compensation didn't appear in their contracts and left many teachers scratching their heads as to why not. At the high school, teachers were shown a budget by the project's manager that contained $22,000 in federal grant funding for teacher support and mentors in the transition to Common Core. One wonders if the federal grant funding is being used to supplement administration salaries instead, since there doesn't appear to be any specific support or funding for the teachers themselves. No teachers' mentors, as stipulated by the grant, no stipends that is supposedly provided for by grant funding. Bottom line, teachers are being asked to do more with fewer resources, including fewer fellow teachers, even when grant funds are supposedly available to support them. My question is, how are these grant funds being used? Teachers at the high school have been told that Ms. Holland is no longer allowed to advocate for her staff to this board by order of the superintendent. What kind of way is this to run a school district? If a school's principal is not allowed to advocate for her teachers, then who will? Mr. Phillips has a reputation for telling teachers who ask for additional support that they should leave and look for another job. Prospective, well-qualified candidates for vacant positions in this district have been embarrassed by Mr. Phillips' handling of their applications, unprofessional demeanor, and disrespect for their qualifications. The 4-day school week should not be an excuse for offering smaller salaries to qualified teachers, given the added responsibilities that are foisted upon them. Point of disclosure, I have never met or spoken to Ms. Holland, but her reputation and initiative precede her. Ms. Holland has brought in innovative ideas and forward thinking to this district. She recently won an AmeriCorps Southwest Region Sponsors Award for their work on landscaping and gardening with AmeriCorps volunteers this summer at the high school. Through the University of Arizona's Cooperative Extension, a total of 30 GIS desktop applications were given to the school. In addition, 4,375 volunteer hours were applied to the Bisbee High School project with an in-kind value of over $92,000 just this summer, using AmeriCorps, 4-H, and community volunteers. An additional $18,300 was applied to Bisbee High School through various grants. Unfortunately, as the landscaping and gardening project was in progress, Mr. Phillips disparaged the project with inappropriate comments, such as describing the high school as looking like Afghanistan.
I have to say something here. These quotes.
Excuse me, this is my call to the public and there's no response. My daughter will be attending the high school next year, and I've been looking forward to the positive changes and innovations Ms. Holland has brought to the school. But I now fear the pursuit of the status quo, mediocrity, and the punishment of virtue, as demonstrated by the district. A tremendous amount of resources have been brought to bear on this school district and other projects in the form of grants and assistance. Yet there seems to be very little administrative support for these efforts. Case in point, the garden coordinator at the Greenway Garden, with the support of the UA, Lowe's, and Freeport grants, provided literally hundreds of kids and Greenway's teachers access and curriculum to activities around the garden over the last 3 years.
Okay, excuse me. Time is up. 3-minute limitation.
Other people went for 5 minutes.
No, sir. Time it. So thank you for your comments. And yeah.
Personal attack.
Yeah.
The board can respond to criticism at the end of the class of public if they wish to do so. Or you can ask them about the issue. Related, or you can ask them about to be placed on a future agenda.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, the comment I want to make is those comments that were made about me were true. Those quotes never came out of my mouth, and wherever they came from to this constituent concerns me. That's all I want to say.
I thought everything was going pretty well, and obviously it's not. And I think that's part of the administration's job, not just the superintendent, but the principals also, to make sure the board is aware of these things. I don't like being surprised by this here. And it was a surprise, and we'll need to look into it further.
Your comment about it's the superintendent's job, it's also the principal's job, and the teachers. However, when the principals and the teachers are held in check, it's very hard for them to teach like they should or to voice their own opinion.
I do feel that the district is trying to address these issues. Again, I do not know what solution there is to the ITV situation, but we will, I would like to have that placed on the agenda so we can address that issue.